Travis Wayne Goodsell. Mormons know and understand about priestcrafts. It's an exclusive word found in the Book of Mormon. And in the place where it is defined, 2 Nephi chapter 26, though many Mormons are unaware of it because they can't get past Isaiah, adds a little more extra. And as all Utahns who are born and raised in Utah, they believe that Utah is Zion. So with that in context, let me read to you from verse 29. And I'll leave out priestcrafts. Although we could probably, well, I also want to go to 121, many are called but few are chosen. Consider this for anybody in a position of authority over Zion. They set themselves up for a light unto the world, that they may get gain and praise of the world, but they seek not the welfare of Zion. If you continue on in the next verse, the end, if they should have charity, they would not suffer the laborer in Zion to perish. Let's go to section 121. Verse 37, and we replace priestcraft with authority, and here it's priesthood. We'll replace that with authority. The rights of authority are inseparably connected with the powers of heaven, and that the powers of heaven cannot be controlled nor handled only upon the principles of righteousness. That they may be conferred upon us, it is true, but when we undertake to cover our sins, or to gratify our pride, our vain ambition, or to exercise control or dominion or compulsion upon the souls of the children of men in any degree of unrighteousness, behold, the heavens withdraw themselves. The Spirit of the Lord is grieved, and when it is withdrawn, amen to the authority of that man, to the priesthood or authority. And I told you I'm replacing it with authority. So that's why I can replace it with authority, because Joseph Smith does. Behold, ere he is aware, he is left unto himself to kick against the pricks, to persecute the saints, and to fight against God. We have learned by sad experience that it is the nature and disposition of almost all men, as soon as they get a little authority, as they suppose, they will immediately begin to exercise unrighteous dominion. Hence, many are called, few are chosen. Governor Herbert has gone on in public announcing that he wants to set Utah up as the example for the rest of the world. Trying to set himself up as a light. Saying that I will get credit for it as governor. And so he committed crimes. that got caught. Hired a company to fake testing. They got caught. He purchased $800,000 of hydroxychloroquine, which actually kills. He's purposely kept the testing below 200 until he couldn't anymore. And the reason why is because I found out today that the guidelines are that if you're receiving more than 200 positive test cases for 2 weeks in a row, you have to go back to orange. And we've been over 200 cases since April 28th, my mom's birthday that I never told you guys about specifically, because she's dead to me. And Governor Herbert is responsible for murders because he's the governor. He's the one giving the orders. He's the one committing all these actions of criminal negligence. Refusing to shut down the government or the state from the beginning. Opening up the state early. Forcing people off of welfare. If he doesn't want to pay us welfare, he should have shut things down from the beginning. And then when it was all over with in the state, he could let us in the state go back to work. But he chose to wait for it to escalate. And then shut it down when it was too late to shut down. We were told from the beginning, if we shut it down immediately, we can slow it down a lot faster and get it down to nothing. And keep it that way if we can control who comes in and who goes out. And he didn't. And now he's refusing to take us back and shut us down again. Outright refusing. The medical profession here in Utah are demanding we go back. The city and county mayors of Salt Lake demanding we go back and shut down. And Herbert is still in defiance. He is more concerned about the economy than with your lives, our lives. He's behaving exactly like Trump. But he's old school Republican, not Trumpian Republican. He doesn't want to destroy his economy. He is more concerned about making money and being an example to the world than he is about your welfare. And he is willing to sacrifice your lives to achieve his ends. Those are the facts. And of course, there are those of you who get upset with me instead because I report this, that I point this out. I've already gone over how Mormons twist the scriptures. Moroni, chapter 10, verse 4 and 5. You can't twist the scriptures and then claim others are twisting the scriptures when they literally quote. governor is not acting like a governor and needs to step down. Yep, I just called for the governor to quit, to step down. And Cox, you too. Quit running for governor, step down. You blew it also by supporting this. I saw your interview where you said we're not going to close down again. We're just going to go right on through. This is out of your control. This is a virus. You can't control a virus without a vaccine. And there is no vaccine coming anytime soon. Although, deductive logic tells us that Trump has the vaccine. He's supposed to be infected by now. He's at a high risk. If he were to get it, he wouldn't last as long as the UK Prime Minister. He would be dead on contact. So yes, he has the vaccine, which means an underlying condition that's going on around the world. It's a systemic attack against humanity. That the virus was indeed caused by man. The timing of it, yeah, man-made. And people can call it fake news, or people can distract with an alternative conspiracy. But the overarching fact is that our leaders throughout the world and in the United States are trying to have us murdered. They don't care about our welfare. They're depopulating the earth to a more controllable number. We have scriptural examples of how we could have prepared for this, but our leaders chose not to. They chose making money over being prepared, because being prepared does not make enough profit. President Nelson, they built the bishop storehouses for the sole purpose of helping in the crisis of the Depression. And then they did nothing with it. They just keep it around as a showpiece. Here we saved people during the Depression. See how great we are? We're a light to the world now. And so how are you prepared if there were to be another national crisis? Oh, we're not ready for a national crisis now. That was only back then. So why aren't they prepared? Do as we say, not as we do. That's always been their line. Demanding Mormons take care of themselves. Mormons to be self-reliant, self-sufficient. Which is contradictory to relying on God, by the way. And so Nelson and the prophets, and Herbert and our government leaders all have our blood on their hands. They think that by blaming us, because we get the virus because we weren't wearing a mask, because they let us have our agency, and you got the virus, well, it's your fault. You should have protected yourself, but you made the choice. You had your agency. Now you have to suffer and be punished. And so the government and the church leaders get to wash their hands, as they think, but the blood is on them. And it doesn't come out. Not this blood. And with the racism that rose up, Nelson tried to blame the protesters. As the protesters all know, government doesn't listen. That's why we have to protest. And destroying and graffitiing property, that's nowhere near compensating for the loss of life that the government caused, that the church causes. So Nelson to blame the protesters was unacceptable. For Utah to hold on Saturday a Blue Lives Matter rally here in Utah was very unacceptable. For ABC4 News Utah to continue to do a segment on YouTube on their news shows called Behind the Badge, inappropriate. End it. It's over. No more behind the badges. No more glorifying the police. They have lost their authority. The few bad apples ruined it for everyone. I learned that as a kid, being among white supremacists. They love to punish the whole for the action of one or few. And so, as they implement and have falsely accused us, Deuteronomy 19:19, they must be now punished with the same punishment that they demanded of us. My neighbors were telling me that the new guy was telling them he was just going to be here temporarily. Haven't seen him today. He ran away yesterday after he saw me. The filing that I put in the lawsuit back on the 5th and the 7th, those two filings, I mean, that shook everyone to the core. And so if he's scared of me, then he doesn't understand why he's filling in. He was misinformed. But Percy is gone because of those filings that I filed. Well, there's a cop. And so everybody's been on their best behavior. Got my air unit finally replaced. No more mold. Still have to cough out the lungs and the esophagus. It's going to take some time. It'd be nice if we shut things down again. The air was very breathable. But our government has been poisoning us here in Utah, as well as around the world. The air, the soil, the water, the church. Poisoning through the water at certain churches and girls' camps. And so what we as a people need to do now is stay home. And so I'm reissuing the stay home request. Because Nelson's not going to do it. He's in the supposed office of Moses, and he's not telling Mormons to stay home. He's purposely involved in murdering Mormons instead. There was an Emeritus 70 who died the other day I saw. They didn't say how he died. His wife died back in April. Didn't say how she died either. They're at the high risk level. How did they die? And so, the few of you who watch my videos because YouTube shadow bans me because the church invests in Google and Google controls YouTube. Because I should be in the thousands of views per day, like I was on my other channel. Because I've surpassed the number of videos on that channel. So things should be the same, if not better, than on the old channel. And they're not. They're beginning level still. Which means YouTube is purposely blocking my videos for you. I saw another Mormon who just got started this year, 3 months ago. And he's got hundreds of thousands and tens of thousands on his 4 videos. I'm not going to tell you who he is. I don't want him getting any more attention. His information is crap. He's setting himself up as a light. He refuses to show himself. Yeah, he thinks he's got it all figured out. He ain't even close. He ain't even near the ballpark. And yet everybody's flocking to him. So yes, if this is the paycheck period for you, stock up. Stock up before or by Friday. Just in time for Joseph Smith's martyrdom on Saturday. But call in sick at work, because eventually they may require you to show coronavirus pass again. Tell them to screw you. I will not sacrifice my life for your business and your money and your wealth. But we're heading to where the essential businesses are going to have to be shut down too. And so this is going to be more devastating than the first time we shut down. We won't be able to go to the grocery store because that'll be shut down. Won't be able to go to the bank to have money to purchase stuff on Amazon. Shut down. Although maybe the drive-thrus, we'll see. They'll probably have to have just one person working per day, which means long lines at the drive-thru. But it's going to get ugly. That's their whole intention. This is their master plan. They knew that things would escalate. They were told by the health officials, whom they are ignoring. So they know the consequences of what they're doing. They are destroying us. They are destroying America. Purposely. That's why it seems like Trump doesn't care about winning. It's because he's not planning on having an election. And so he's gone into full offense mode. And all his GOP inverted pentagram elephants are supporting it. Utah GOP, the inverted pentagram elephant logo. You noticed? Oh, Mormon Satanists want to call it Jesus. No, it's a symbol of Jesus. The morning star that never makes it to the noon star, that is replaced by the sun. Venus is the symbol of Lucifer, Mormons. That's where our theology comes from. Falling from heaven because his plan was rejected, but wanting to be the Messiah, that was Lucifer. And Mormon Luciferians are trying to fool us into saying, hey, it's a representation of Jesus Christ. is a pretty star. Unbelievable. And so yeah, Salt Lake Temple, Lucifer on the keystone of the doors. Lucifer on the keystone of the foundation keystone on the Seagull Gate, letting everyone know they control the government. And so that's why I'm waiting for Judge Oberg. Is she going to reveal herself as controlled by the church, as the Seagull Gate tells us, and as I told her in those bombshell filing on the 5th and the 7th? Or will she be a patriot and risk her job and even her life to choose the right? Not choose the right party, but choose the correct path in history to preserve life, to stop the abusers, to stop the destroyers of nations, to save the human race. That's all she has to do, and she's hesitating. My neighbors told me that the new guy is here for only a few weeks, which means Percy is gone for a few weeks. Is that from the lawyer? Well, it's obviously from the lawyers, but do the lawyers know something I don't? Are they expecting the judge to be another few weeks before she finally sides with them? Or are they just saying that as a general term for an indefinite period? The church lost. I presented a airtight case because the evidence came from them, the church. It's not complicated. It can seem complicated to those who don't know legal processes and procedures, having to do it all by themselves without a lawyer. But it's really not complicated. They purposely make it complicated with volumes of rules and procedures and specific forms and formats. But once you figure those out, it's cake. You just have to remember the umbrellas of criminal behavior. Taking away life, taking away liberty, taking away property. And thus we, as human beings, as American citizens, are to be guaranteed inalienable rights to life, liberty, and property. And yet, our government continually wants to create specific laws for crimes. No. Oh, well, we can't have an officer put their left knee on the neck of a handcuffed prisoner and their right knee on the back spine of the prisoner. That then constitutes a third-degree felony charge of the officer. No! Did he take the life unjustly of another human being? That's it. That's what a jury would have to decide. And so for George Floyd, yeah, he did. George Floyd was handcuffed. He was in custody. And the officer took his life. Case closed. But yet they want to make it complicated. Specifically designed to allow select elite whites to go free, and those of us who are not in the elite class to not go free. And so Flynn, yeah, the appeals court said, you're free. we'll see if it gets appealed, but that's how it works in our country, and they're the ones in control. So, like I said, stock up. I'm the only one going to be warning you. Nobody else is going to warn you. It'll be too late when they finally do what must needs be done. I hope it's not too late for you if you choose not to listen to me. So yeah, I would love it if Judge Oberg would immediately make her decision so that I can then take the trillions of dollars and save everybody that will want to be saved. But like I said in my complaint, I fear that I am too late.